All right, party people. What's going on? Good evening, good evening. Man, I'm looking a little tired there. Um, Wanted to do this video about how I want to say it. Your error rate. Was talking to a gentleman this week, notary, been doing about a year, probably over a year, and he said he noticed that he wasn't getting orders from a particular company, and I've been having problems. I get orders from them, but I noticed things were a little iffy. So he reached out to him and tried to find out what was going on, and they informed him that the problem, the reason why they're not giving him orders, is because of his error rate. His error rate for his last 16 orders with them was 20%. So that means 20% of the work that he just did um, had errors in it, and that's sort of high. That is high. 50% would be 8, so you're probably talking about 4 or 5 that might have had errors in them, and you say, well, 4 or 5 out of 16, but the thing is, they go by that percentage, and if that percentage looks high, that's what it gets you. So he actually was given an order. He had accepted an order, and then when he went in, he saw it in his queue. Then he logged out, take care of some other stuff, went back in the queue, and the order was gone. And that's what prompted him to find out, okay, what's going on here. And I noticed I've been having some problems with the same company, and I know part of the issue for me is that because I'm so busy with doing the orders and all of that, that I sometimes don't get to call everybody right away. And they're like, hey, you need to call. And sometimes I end up getting like 5 or 6, 7 reminders from them to call. And the thing is, they're, how to say it, even if I did call, well, sometimes the orders are way out. I'm talking about like 3, 4 days ahead, out. And they're like, no, you need to call right now. And I'm like, okay. And then the one thing, and this will probably indicate to y'all who it is, but the thing I don't understand is that even if you call and the person is not there, and you say, that they're not there, or you left a message, they confirm the order. And technically, it's not confirmed because you never spoke to the person. And I don't like that, because and it makes me think, sometimes, and what has happened, I've actually did that, left a message, and then it said confirm, and then I forgot to call the person back, and then I'm showing up at they doing it like, who are you? And I'm like, we confirmed. They're like, when do we confirm? And then I got to thinking, I'm like, that's right. I never called back because when you looked at the order, it said confirmed, even though you actually didn't talk to the person to confirm it. So I've gotten better with that. But the problem now is if I'm ripping and running, 6 signings in a day, and then they say, okay, hey, we got this here 3 days from now. Boom, gotcha. I'm like, okay, I'll call them tomorrow. They're like, nah, you got to call them right now. So I'm pretty sure I might have been pinged or have been pinged because of my tardiness in calling people, or at least for them. The other companies don't bother me. They're like, okay, hey, we let you know, you got to take care of this. So one of the things you got to realize, a lot of these companies are trying to keep their metrics high, meaning they want their error rates low. They want their on time, you getting there on time at a certain level. They want documents scanned back to be a certain percentage level. They want, completions to be done in that hour time period. Even though a lot of them haven't specifically said to do it in an hour, because I had a company call me today, 5 after, and they're like, "Are you done? We just checking on you, see how things went." I'm like, "You're not saying how things went. No, you want to know if I'm done because I didn't immediately give you that notification." Well, my signing got held up by 30 minutes because I go to one location, they come back and I get to that location, they're like, oh, you can't come in here. I'm like, well, this is where the signers told me to run. We don't even know who you're talking about, but you can't come in here because you don't have an appointment, and neither do they. So you got to go. Call them. They're like, oh, we didn't know we had to make an appointment. I'm like, well, we can't do it. So I had to go over to their home, wait for them to get set up. They was real COVID conscious and they didn't want nothing. They was like, we'll do it outside. I'm like, it's cold. I'm like, so that was an issue there. So they want you to get these things done in an hour. They want you to get scan backs done quickly. All of those things are metrics that they use to get more business. And if you have a high error rate, whatever that may be, maybe they measure, your error rate per 20 orders. So per 20 orders, your error rate is this 30-40%. And I've talked about this before. You are going to be it's going to be very unlikely for you to get some orders. If your error rate is low, 1% or 0, they love you and they'll use you consistently. And where's the errors going to come? In the notarizations. And if your notarizations are straight, you're getting them to sign, date like they're supposed to, not going around printing their name when they're supposed to sign, not printing your name when you're supposed to sign, not depending on them to tell you, put your seal here when you know you need to put your notary stamp there. When you go out there and show that you understand what you're doing as a notary for these loan closings, they have no choice but to pick you. They're going to pick you over the people who aren't. So he knows that he's basically sort of on the outs with that company. How do you get back in? Because right now, that's what everybody's asking. Like, well, how do you get back in? That's a good question. The only thing I can think of, and this is just strictly my thoughts, you're going to have to take them orders that nobody else wants to take and do well. And then do like maybe 5, 10, maybe 12 of them or more that has no errors. You have no errors. So that when they look at your error rate, and because if it's going by percentage and they see, oh, okay, you've done these last 12, boom, it knocks all those ones that you had errors in out. Okay, your error rate is 0 now. That's what you want. And that's the only way you're going to get there. So that company starts sending orders out and you see them and it's for 8 o'clock at night or an hour away or whatever, you may have to take it in order to get back in their good graces. To me, in some cases, depending on the client, it's worth it. Then in other times, it may not be worth it. That's going to be a call that's totally up to you. But just understand that whatever companies you work with, they may not tell you they're grading you, but they are. So that's why it's hard to say all notaries need to be paid the same. Because even if we're all paid the same, somebody, just human nature, in my opinion, will say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this to rise above the rest of these notaries so that I can get picked more. So even if I never get more than just $115 per order, that's the rate across the board. If that was the magical rate that we was getting paid and there was no negotiation and all of that, the only question would be, how many can I get? And I got to get more. So what do I need to do to get them to pick me? And as an innovative person, you're going to find a way. You'll be sitting there like, well, you know what? I'm going to do this. Well, I'm going to get up at the crack of dawn. Well, I'm going to be there at the door before when they get there. You're going to find a way to show them they need to give you more. That's human nature. So trying to make things quote unquote fair, balanced, even, we're going to always find a way to rise to the top. We're going to always try to find a way to outdo our competitor, our colleague. Being like, okay, you got 3 more than me than this month than I did. I'll fix that. I'm gonna figure out how to get more orders. So I'm getting the same pay, but I'm just getting more. So I'm saying all of that to say it's very important to keep your error rate down. If you keep your error rate down, your attitude in check, because you can have low errors, no errors, but you have a bad attitude if they ask you to do a little something extra and you fussing about that. That extra could be scan backs. That extra could be make sure the docs ship out on time. That it could be whatever, you know, and you giving them a bunch of golf about it. So it's like, yeah, you're not doing a whole lot of errors, but if I ask you or talk to you, you're giving me a bunch of attitude. You act like you can't just do the work and you got to constantly get an extra $100 for everything we ask you to do. Okay, nah, I'd rather work with somebody who might have a few errors and I can get them to do what's right and then don't have to worry about them sitting up here begging me or telling me I got to pay them for every little thing. And they'll give me my scans. So keep your error rate low, keep your attitude and the way you deal with people correct, and you'll be fine in this business. Um, and when I reflect back and think about all the people that I've come across that have been very successful in this business or that are successful, they have a very low error rate. They fully understand how to notarize, and their attitude is one of help and servitude. And they're not trying to jump bad at every single company unjustifiably. So if you tweak who you are and get your mindset straight, I pretty much can guarantee, pretty much, that you'll have a much happier experience. You may not hit the same levels as some of these other people, but you will have a much happier experience as a notary overall than if you just continue to have this negativity and I'm not going to work with you this and all of that kind of stuff, and you'll be much better. So think about that over the weekend. Know that you're being graded, even if they don't tell you you're being graded, because they're going to say, okay, I got Griff, I got Earl. What's the deciding factor between the two? What's the differentiator? They both been noticed about the same time. They both got the same E&O insurance. They both have about the same number of signings under their belt. But why would I pick Earl over Griff? Why would I pick Griff over Earl? What is the factor that I'm looking for to make that determination? It could be error rate. It could be how you communicate with them, your attitude. It could be how do you call the client quickly. It could be a lot of things. So wherever you see that you're weak at, you get that stronger on top of the other strengths you have, you should be fine. It's that simple. So me, I'm working on I'm not even trying, I'm working on calling them sooner. So the next several orders that I get from them, I'm immediately going to call. I don't like the way their system is. They has you as confirmed when you really didn't. But I'm gonna work with that. I'm gonna work with that and go ahead on because I worked with them for many, many years and they've done great by me. So I say, you know what? Let me find a way to get things back even, to where I'm getting more orders and things of that nature from this particular company. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. Hope y'all have a great weekend. I shouldn't be posting anymore this weekend because I got a lot of other stuff to do, but y'all have a good one. See y'all next week. Peace.